Welcome back to the Excel Mastery Series. Today in this chapter, we're diving into the core of Excel, formulas and functions. If you master this chapter, you'll unlock 80% of Excel's real power. Let's get started. In Excel, a formula is simply an instruction that tells Excel what to calculate. Instead of doing math manually, you write a formula once, and Excel performs the calculation instantly and updates it automatically whenever your data changes. Step 1. Click the cell where you want the result to appear. Step 2. Every formula in Excel must begin with an equal sign. This tells Excel that what follows is a calculation, not plain text. Step 3. Before writing a formula, determine which cells contain the numbers you want to use. For example, to calculate profit, click Revenue in cell H2, minus Cost in cell F2. Then press Enter. Excel immediately calculates the result by subtracting cost from revenue. Step 4. If either value changes, revenue or cost, Excel automatically recalculates the result. You never need to redo the calculation manually. Always reference cells instead of typing numbers directly. Cell references keep formulas dynamic and ensure results stay accurate when your data updates. Excel formulas rely on cell references, and understanding these will make your formulas smarter and more dynamic. There are 3 types of references: relative, absolute, and mixed. One of the most powerful features in Excel formulas is something called a relative reference. This allows formulas to adjust automatically when copied, saving time and preventing repetitive typing. Step 1. Start with a basic calculation. Click the cell where you want your result, for example cell J2, and enter an equal sign. Click Revenue in cell H2, minus Cost in cell F2. Press Enter. Excel calculates the profit for that row. Step 2. Select the cell containing the formula. Move your cursor to the small square at the bottom right corner of the cell. This is called the fill handle. Left-click and drag it downward across the rows below. Excel automatically copies the formula into each row. Step 3. Click any filled cell below, such as J5, and look at the formula bar. You'll notice the formula has changed from equals to H2 minus F2 to something like equals to H5 minus F5. Excel adjusted the references automatically to match the row. Step 4. When you click inside the formula bar, Excel highlights the reference cells in different colors directly on the worksheet. This visual cue shows exactly which cells the formula is using, making formulas easier to understand and audit. Relative references make formulas scalable. Instead of writing hundreds of formulas manually, you write one and copy it. If references update when you copy a formula, that means they're relative. This is Excel's default behavior and is essential for efficient spreadsheet modeling. Sometimes when copying formulas in Excel, you don't want certain cell references to change. That's where absolute references come in. Absolute references lock a cell, so it stays fixed no matter where the formula is copied. Step 1. Suppose you have a tax rate of 7.5% stored in cell P2, and you want to calculate the tax for your revenue. First, click on the cell where you want the result to appear and type an equal sign. Next, select your revenue cell, which is cell H2. Now, type an asterisk. That's the little star symbol for multiplication, and then click on the VAT rate in cell P2. Press Enter. The calculation works correctly for the first row. Step 2. Drag the fill handle down to apply the formula to other rows. You may notice the results become incorrect or show zeros. This happens because Excel changed the VAT reference from P2 to P3, P4, and so on. The reference moved when copied. Step 3. To keep the VAT cell fixed, edit the formula. Click the formula cell and change P2 to $P, $2. Then press Enter. The dollar signs lock both the column and row, so the reference never changes. Step 4. Drag the fill handle down once more. Now every row calculates correctly because Excel always uses the VAT value from P2, regardless of where the formula is copied. Step 5. click any filled cell and look at the formula bar. You'll see that every formula still references P2, confirming that the VAT cell remains fixed. You don't have to type $ manually. While editing a formula, select the reference and press F4 to instantly convert it into an absolute reference. Mixed references combine the flexibility of relative references with the stability of absolute ones. They allow you to lock either a row or a column while letting the other part change. This is essential when building calculation tables, such as pricing models, discount grids, or tax matrices. You're a wholesaler with unit prices in column D, discount rates in H1, I1, and J1 representing 5%, 10%, and 15% discounts. You want Excel to calculate discounted prices automatically across rows and columns. Step 1. First, click on cell H2 and type an equals sign. Next, select your price cell, which is cell D2. Now, type an asterisk. That's the little star symbol for multiplication. Then, open a bracket and type the number 1. Type a dash for minus, and then select cell H1, where your discount rate is stored. Finally, close the bracket and press Enter. Step 2. Drag the fill handle from H2 across to I2 and J2. You may notice incorrect results. Click I2 or J2 and check the formula bar. You'll see Excel change the reference from D2 to E2 or F2. This happened because Excel assumed the column reference should move. Step 3. We want the formula to always reference prices in column D, even when copied sideways. Edit the formula in H2 and change D2 to $D2. The $sign locks the column but allows the row to change. Press Enter, then drag across again. Now all columns correctly use prices from column D. Step 4. Highlight H2 to J2, then drag downward. You may now see unexpected results again. Click any filled cell and look at the formula. You'll notice the discount reference has shifted from H1 to H2, H3, and so on. Step 5. Edit the formula again and change H1 to $1. This locks the row while allowing the column to change. Press Enter. Step 6. Drag across and then drag down. Now every calculation references the correct price from column D, the correct discount from row 1. Click any cell in the table and check the formula bar. You'll see both references behaving exactly as intended. Press F4 while editing a reference to cycle through all reference types. Relative, absolute, column locked, row locked. This is the fastest way to control formula behavior. Excel has hundreds of functions, but only a few do most of the work. Let's look at the essentials. The SUM function adds numbers together. To get the total sales amount, click on an empty cell and type an equal sign. Start typing the word sum, and a suggestion appears. Select sum from a list. The function opens with a bracket. Now click cell H2 to begin your selection. If there are too many rows to scroll through manually, press Ctrl, Shift, and the down arrow together. This automatically selects all values in the column all the way to the last row. Press Enter to confirm. Your total sales amount is now calculated. The average function calculates the mean of a range of values. To get the average sales amount, click on an empty cell and type an equal sign. Start typing the word average and a suggestion appears. Select average from a list. The function opens with a bracket. Click cell H2 to begin your selection. If the data runs too long to scroll through, press Ctrl, Shift, and the down arrow together to select all values in the column automatically. Press Enter to confirm. Excel now returns the mean value across all your sales entries. The count function counts the number of cells in a range that contain numeric values. To do this, click on an empty cell and type an equal sign. Start typing the word count and a suggestion appears. Select count from the list. The function opens with a bracket. Click cell H2 to begin your selection. If there are too many rows to scroll through manually, press Ctrl, Shift, and the down arrow together to automatically select all values in the column. Press Enter to confirm. Excel returns the total number of transactions recorded in your dataset. Now, if you need to count cells containing text, like customer names or product categories, use COUNTA instead, as it counts every non-empty cell regardless of whether it contains a number, text, or any other value, following the exact same steps. The max function finds the largest value in a range. To find the maximum quantity sold in a single transaction, click on an empty cell and type an equal sign. Start typing the word max and a suggestion appears. Select max from the list. The function opens with a bracket. Click cell H2 to begin your selection. If there are too many rows to scroll through, press Ctrl, Shift, and the down arrow together to select the full column range automatically. Press Enter to confirm. Excel returns the single highest value recorded across all your transactions. Use Count Blank to count all empty cells in a range, helping you quickly identify missing or incomplete entries. Together, Count, Count A, and Count Blank give you complete visibility over the state of your data. The left and right functions allow you to extract a specific number of characters from either end of a text string. Imagine you have product codes stored in column B of the invoice sheet. Each code begins with a 2-character category prefix, such as EL for electronics or CL for clothing. You only need that prefix for your report. To extract it, go to an empty cell and type an equal sign. Begin typing the word left and select left from Excel suggestion list. The function appears with an open bracket. Click on cell B2, the cell containing your product code. Since we only need the first 2 characters, type the number 2. Close the bracket and press Enter. You now have your 2-character prefix extracted. To apply this to all rows, click the fill handle at the bottom right corner of the cell and drag it down, or double-click it to autofill. Use the right function the same way when your important characters are at the end of a string. The mid function pulls text from the middle of a string, starting at any position you choose. Go to an empty cell, type an equal sign, then type MID and select mid from the suggestion list. The function appears with an open bracket. Select cell B2. Now, since our target text starts at the 5th character, type 5, followed by a comma. We only need 2 characters, so type 2. Close the bracket and press Enter. Your extracted text appears. To apply this to all rows, use the fill handle to drag the formula down. Before using mid, use the len function, which we'll cover next, to verify that your text strings are all the same length. The len function counts the total number of characters in a cell, including spaces and symbols. Imagine you've been asked to validate customer contact numbers on the customer sheet to ensure every entry is exactly 10 digits. Any number that is too short or too long needs to be flagged. On the customer sheet, click an empty cell and type an equal sign. Type len and select len from the suggestion list. It appears with an open bracket. Select cell E2, which contains the phone number. Close the bracket and press Enter. The result tells you how many characters are in that cell. Apply the formula to all rows using the fill handle. Now you can quickly scan the column. Any value that is not 10 is a data error that needs attention. Combine len with a conditional formula for smarter validation. The CONCAT function combines text from multiple cells into one. On your employee sheet, first names are stored in column C and last names are in column D. Your HR report requires a single full name column. Click a new empty cell and type an equal sign. Type CONCAT and select it from the suggestion list. When the function appears with an open bracket, select cell C2 for the first name. Type a comma, then open a quotation mark, add a space, and close the quotation mark. This inserts a space between the names. Type another comma and select cell D2 for the last name. Close the bracket and press Enter. You now have a neatly combined full name. Use the fill handle to apply the formula to all rows. For combining more than 2 columns, such as first name, middle name, and last name, consider using text join instead. These three functions let you control the letter casing of your text data. After using CONCAT to build your full name column, you notice the names are inconsistent. Some are all uppercase, some all lowercase, and others are a mix. Your report requires properly formatted names, with the first letter of each name capitalized. On a new empty cell, type an equal sign. Type proper and select proper from the suggestion list. Select the cell containing your combined full name and press enter. The name is now formatted correctly. First letter of each word capitalized, the rest in lowercase. Use the fill handle to apply the formula down the entire column. You can follow the same steps and use upper to convert text to all capital letters or lower to convert everything to lowercase, depending on your formatting needs. These case functions are especially useful before running lookups like VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP. Mismatched casing can cause lookup formulas to return errors. The if function works like a question. You ask Excel a question about your data, and depending on whether the answer is true or false, Excel returns one of two results. Let's go back to our earlier example on the customer sheet, where we used len to count the number of characters in each phone number. Instead of just seeing a number and deciding yourself, let's make Excel do the work. Type an equal sign, then type if and select it from the suggestion list. The function appears with an open bracket. Now we type our condition. Len of E2 equals 10. This asks Excel, does this phone number have exactly 10 digits? Type a comma. If the answer is yes, meaning true, we want Excel to return the word valid. Type open quotation mark, valid, close quotation mark. Type a comma. If the answer is no, meaning false, we want Excel to return the word invalid. Type open quotation mark, invalid, close quotation mark. Close the bracket and press enter. Use the fill handle to apply the formula down the entire column. Now at a glance, your team can instantly see which customer contact numbers are correct and which ones need to be updated, without manually checking a single entry. The if function is even more powerful when combined with conditional formatting or the text functions we covered earlier. Now, what if you need Excel to choose between more than two outcomes? Management has a new request. They want to categorize every customer based on their total spending into bronze, silver, and gold. Your first instinct might be to use a nested if, an if inside another if. And while that works, it gets complicated very quickly, especially when you have 3, 4, or 5 categories. One misplaced bracket and the whole formula breaks. That's why Excel introduced the IFS function. IFS lets you test multiple conditions in a clean, readable sequence. No nesting required. Type an equal sign, then type IFS and select it from the suggestion list. Now we type our condition. First condition, F2 is less than 20,000, comma, open quotation mark, bronze, close quotation mark, comma. Second condition, F2 is less than or equal to 50,000, comma, open quotation mark, silver, close quotation mark, comma. Third condition, F2 is greater than 50,000, comma, open quotation mark, gold, close quotation mark. Close the bracket and press enter. Use the fill handle to apply this down all rows. Now your entire customer base is segmented automatically, ready for your marketing team to design targeted campaigns for each tier. Always arrange your IFS conditions from the smallest threshold to the largest. If you accidentally place a broader condition first, Excel will match it too early and return the wrong result for records that were meant to fall into a more specific category. If you ever forget how a function works, don't worry. Click the FX button next to the formula bar to open the Insert function tool. It breaks down every required input step by step, acting as your personal guide through the grid. Thanks for watching. See you in the next chapter.